Hey, Jason here from Simply Swider. So if your dishwasher fills with water but won't spray, you're probably pulling your hair out wondering what the heck is going on. The machine turns on, you hear water filling up, but then crickets. No spray arms spinning, no washing action, just dirty dishes sitting in standing water. Before we get started, if you run into any questions, jump into our Facebook group. Links in the description. We've got thousands of people helping each other fix their appliances, and I pop in there daily to help out. All right, let me tell you what's actually happening here because most folks get this wrong. You might think your dishwasher is completely dead or that something's clogged in the drain, but here's the thing, your machine fills just fine, right? The real problem is in the circulation system. That's the pump that pushes water through those spray arms to actually wash your dishes. Now, here's where people mess up. There's two different pumps in your dishwasher. You've got your drain pump that makes noise at the start and end of cycles, and your wash motor that circulates the water during cleaning. Just because it drains fine doesn't mean your circulation pump is working. I'm going to walk you through these five main causes from most common to least common. That's 35% of cases down to just 5%. We'll diagnose smart, not just throw parts at the problem. For each one, I'll give you the exact symptoms to listen for and simple tests you can do right now. So, the most common culprit, and I see this probably 35% of the time, is something's physically blocking the water flow. Could be clogged spray arms, gunked up filters, or debris stuck in the sump area. Here's what happens. You've got food scraps, those pesky jar labels, maybe some broken glass that's found its way into the pump area, and it's preventing water from moving around. I had this lady last week call me in a panic. Her dishwasher was making this horrible grinding noise, then went silent. Turns out a piece of chicken bone had worked its way past the filter and was jamming the chopper blade. Here's your step by step check. First, pull out that bottom dish rack. Next, remove the lower spray arm. It either lifts straight
Twist the
up or
lower
has a
spray arm
twist lock
counterclockwise to
mechanism.
remove.
Hold it up to the light and look through those spray holes. You'll be amazed what gets stuck in there. Use a toothpick or thin wire to poke through each hole. Seeds, rice, little bits of food. Then check your filter assembly at the bottom of the tub. On most models, it's a cylindrical screen that twists out. If it's all matted up with gunk, there's your problem. Don't forget to peek down into that sump area where the filter sits. I found everything from wine glass shards to those sticky jar labels that turn into paper mache when they get wet. About 30% of the time, it's the wash motor itself that's gone bad. This is the heart of your spray system. It's what pushes water up through those spray arms. These motors work hard, running for long periods under high heat, and eventually the bearings seize up or the motor windings burn out. Here's your diagnostic test. Start a normal wash cycle and listen carefully. After the initial fill, that's about 2 3 minutes in, you should hear the wash
Use a
motor kick
flathead
on with a
screwdriver
steady
to help
whooshing
pry the hose
sound.
away from the
If
inlet.
instead you
Now,
hear a low
carefully pull the
humming,
circulation
clicking, or
pump away
complete
from the
silence
sump.
during
Use
this
a
wash
flathead
phase,
screwdriver
your
to help.
circulation pump has failed. The motor might also feel extremely hot to the touch if it's trying to run but seized up. I remember this guy who kept insisting his control board was bad because the motor was completely silent. Turns out the motor had seized so badly it wouldn't even try to start. Now here's where it gets tricky. On some Whirlpool and KitchenAid models, there are these graphite bushings that wear out and cause the rotor to wobble and eventually lock up. If you're handy with a multimeter, you can check for 120 V at the motor connector during the wash cycle. Voltage there, but no motor action, that pump's done for. This one trips people up because the dishwasher does fill with water, just not enough. About 20% of these no spray problems come down to the water inlet valve being partially clogged. The valve opens, water comes in, but there's not enough to properly prime that circulation pump. Here's your dead giveaway test. Start a normal cycle and wait for the fill phase to complete. You'll hear the water stop running. Now carefully crack open the door. The water level should be just below or barely touching that heating element at the bottom. If you only see a shallow puddle around the filter area, you've found your problem. If you're only seeing a shallow puddle around the filter area, you've found your problem. I always tell customers to try this test. Manually add 2 3 quarts of water to the tub, close the door, and see if it starts spraying like gangbusters. If it does, your inlet valve screen is clogged with sediment or calcium buildup. Don't try to clean that valve screen. Trust me on this one. I've seen too many flood disasters from people trying to clean instead of replace. The screen gets damaged and doesn't seal properly. Then you've got water everywhere. This is mainly a Whirlpool, KitchenAid, and Kenmore thing, about 10% of these cases. These models have this motorized disc that diverts water between upper and lower spray arms. When it fails or gets stuck, you lose water pressure or it goes to the wrong place. Classic symptom: dishes on the bottom rack come out sparkling, but the top rack looks like it never got touched, or vice versa. The diverter motor sits under the sump assembly and has this shaft seal that likes to leak. Water gets where it shouldn't, corrodes the motor, and boom, no more zone switching. I had this customer who kept buying new spray
Now
arms
use the
thinking they were
T15
clogged.
Torx bit to
Took three
unthread.
service calls before someone actually diagnosed the diverter motor. Many of these models have a diagnostic mode that'll throw a diverter error code if you know how to access it. The least common but still worth checking, maybe 5% of cases, this is when the connection between your water supply and that upper spray arm gets compromised. Could be a broken feed tube, loose connection, or worn out gasket where the upper rack docks to the back wall. Samsung and Bosch models are notorious for this manifold seal on the back wall degrading over time. Here's the check. Make sure your upper rack pushes all the way back and engages properly with those docking ports. Look for missing gaskets or those little flapper valves that might have fallen out. Sometimes it's as simple as the rack not being seated properly after someone forced it in crooked. These are your easiest fixes. Spray arms run anywhere from 30 to 60 bucks and they're usually just lift out or twist lock. Most of the time you can clean the clogs out with a toothpick or wire, but if they're cracked or the holes are damaged, replacement is simple, definitely DIY territory. You're looking at $15 to $50 for the part, and it's usually tucked behind that toe kick panel at the bottom front of your dishwasher. Not too bad of a job if you're comfortable with basic tools, just shut off the water supply first. I'd rate this a 2 out of 5 for difficulty. Don't try to clean it, just replace it. This is where it gets expensive, 100 to 300 bucks for the part, and it's not an easy job. You'll need to pull the dishwasher out, tip it back, and get underneath. Rated a 4 out of 5 for difficulty. If your unit is hardwired or trapped under flooring, definitely call a pro. But if you can get access and you're handy with tools, it'll save you a big service call. Whirlpool and KitchenAid folks, this runs 60 to 120 bucks and requires removing the sump assembly. Another 4 out of 5 difficulty. Replace the seal while you're in there. Learned that one the hard way when I had to go back 2 weeks later for the same leak. All right, if you've diagnosed the problem and need to replace parts, let's talk about what you're looking at cost wise and whether this is something you can tackle yourself or if you should call someone like me. I'm going to be straight with you about what's DIY friendly and what's going to test your patience. You can see right there on your screen some of the most common dishwasher models that experience these circulation problems. Maybe you'll spot your own unit up there. What I want you to notice is it's not just one brand. This affects pretty much every manufacturer because they're all using similar circulation pump designs. Here's your action plan for dishwasher circulation problems. Start with these free 10-minute checks. First, inspect and clean your spray arms. Second, remove and clean your filter assembly. Third, test your water level during fill. Fourth, listen for motor sounds during the wash cycle. These 4 steps will identify 90% of circulation issues before you spend a dime on parts. If those don't solve it, then we're looking at pump or valve replacement. Remember, jar labels are your enemy. They turn into mush and clog everything up. And if you've got hard water, those spray arm holes will calcify over time and need attention. If you guys know someone who's having appliance troubles, please send them the link to this video or a link to my channel where I have tons of other videos showing how to fix pretty common issues with appliances, sometimes for free or as little cost as possible. It sure beats having a repairman come out and spending several hundred for them to fix it when it could be something so simple. If this helped you get your dishwasher spraying again, hit that like button and drop a comment below. Let me know which fix worked for you. Really helps other people with the same problem. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We'll get this out to more folks who need to save some time and money. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day.